The website, as I mentioned, is up and running, and they say online that they're going to post all relevant documents from the inquiry. They're going to put transcripts at what people said in evidence and so on. They may well stream parts of it online. Well, joining me now from Westminster to look at the web elements of this inquiry is Alberto Nardelli, who runs Tweetminster, a service that aims to make it easier for the public to connect with politicians. Welcome then to the programme, Alberto. Why should we need to connect with our politicians more easily? Do you think there's a demand for that?
Absolutely. I think it's fundamental that people are able to connect with those that they choose to represent us and to make important decisions for us. And tools like Tweetminster are aimed at satisfying that appetite and allowing people to interact directly without intermediaries with politicians. And overall, this makes politics more accessible, more open, and it makes accessing important information much easier. And there's definitely an appetite for that.
OK, well, where's the evidence? Where's the evidence that you've built up to say that there is a demand here that you want to try and address?
Well, I think a very good example of evidence, if we look, for example, at the numbers in the recent elections in the United States, there was a record turnout of people on November the 4th. About 9 million more people voted compared to the previous election. The majority of these people were people which had either never voted before or people who returned to the polls for the first time after a very long period of time. And this shows that when people are meaningfully engaged, when they're spoken to like adults, and technology and the web is very useful in terms of engaging and connecting with people directly, they do not only turn out to vote, but they volunteer, they knock on doors, and they engage with politics beyond election day on an ongoing basis. OK, we'll talk about your site in a second, but just while we came to this via this inquiry and how they seem to be pretty thorough there, they're planning to stream it, they're planning to put all the data up there. Is this exactly the sort of thing you'd be pleased to see? That it's a quasi-official thing, it's a government-approved inquiry, and they are making all the information, or as far as we know, most of the information available to the public? Absolutely. I think while Tweetminster obviously is not in a position to judge the inquiry or the war in Iraq, I think the fact that such an important event, which is publicly relevant and has an impact and has had an impact on the lives of so many people, it's fundamental that the process is open, that people can participate within the process, and they have access to the information, because that information will then inform the decisions that they'll make in the future. Because obviously no one can say that big decisions can be crowdsourced and the public should decide big decisions. We elect politicians to do that for us, but the fact that the public needs the right information to be able to make those decisions as effectively as possible, I think is a very important matter. And technology and webcasts and providing access to the debates and to the inquiry will definitely help within that process. Yeah, interesting point though, Alberto. Here's your site, Tweetminster. Let's just show it to everybody so we can have a look there, what it is. You've put the new Livewire information up there, but you've got quite a bit of investment, haven't you, just come to your company to put this up. I can see there's a noble aspiration here to try and improve the flow of information, but in that noble aspiration, how are you going to make a profit? Well, we've actually raised an investment exactly to develop a range of premium services which will help to better understand and analyse politics. I don't think there's a contradiction between doing good and generating money. If you look at a company like Google, which generates, for example, lots of money, I don't think anyone can doubt the fact that they make information more accessible and universally accessible for everyone is a bad thing, while they're making money. But do you not know what I'm getting at here? If you're going to make information more available to me easily, i.e. for free, that's one thing. If you're going to charge me to get information which perhaps as a citizen by right I should have anyway, that's a whole different ballgame, isn't it? We wouldn't. It depends on the service. We wouldn't charge citizens to use the tools to interact with politicians. But for example, analytical services, which people are currently already paying for, we would be able to provide that same information and more, much more effectively and efficiently. So we're talking about premium professional information, which companies are already paying for, and just making that information better and even more accessible. And the use of that information, hopefully, will actually be used to improve their services. Well, let's talk to you again in a few weeks, few months, and see how the thing's going. Alberto, thanks for joining us tonight. Thank you very much. OK, let's now tell you about the search items today. We've checked on the most popular search terms on the website. And